What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'm your host, Al the Postmaster Morrow, and today I have the very first unboxing on the channel, and I'm really excited to unbox and review these gloves. These are the brand new release by Hayabusa, and inside of this box we should see Captain America boxing gloves. Hayabusa recently teamed up with Marvel Studios, and they've been working with them, and they have 5 exclusive gloves. They have Captain America, like the ones I should be in here. They also have Iron Man, the Punisher, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel, and they all look awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up the box. I personally pre-ordered these. Show wax. I personally pre-ordered these, and I've been looking forward to opening these since I got them in the mail this morning. Just as I was drinking my morning coffee, postman dropped these off. Okay, and then should be able to just rip these open from here. There we go. Oh man, I see the pattern. Put this knife away for a second. Man, I love, I'm always like a kid at Christmas whenever I open things like these up. Alright, so first off, alright, cool, so they come with a glove bag. So that's cool. It's a big glove bag. It says Hayabusa on it, obviously. But, of course, everyone doesn't want to see the glove bag. They want to see the gloves themselves. Bam! There was something else in here. A Hayabusa sticker. And what's this? A Hayabusa keychain, folks. So I'm going to put this on my keys in a bit. I'll put these off to the side, and then we can get directly into the gloves themselves. These are, they look so cool. Oh man. Alright, so it says warning, suffocation hazard, keep this bag out of reach from babies and children. I can't open this then, no, I'm just kidding. But little tape here. Oh, they feel great. I can feel them already. Oh my goodness, folks. Look at these gloves. They come with a certificate of authenticity. Hang on a second here. Boom. You got the left glove and the right glove right here. Captain America Hayabusa gloves. These look sharp. Oh man. And oh man, I can't wait to get into the breakdown of these gloves. They look great just out of the box. They smell great. They look great. Feel great. And they even come with a certificate of authenticity. Show you right here. This document certifies that these are genuine Captain America boxing gloves 2019 edition. This product was officially licensed by Marvel and were manufactured by Hayabusa Fightwear Inc. And it says Hayabusa, has the peregrine falcon right there, and then the Marvel logo right here. Oh man. So now that we got the first look of these right out of the box, let's take a closer look at these gloves so I can break them down bit by bit for you. Alright, so the gloves have been out of the box for 10 minutes and I'm officially done nerding out. So I'm going to talk about all the nitty-gritty details when it comes to the gloves themselves. First off, when you talk about gloves that look cool, I'm also a Captain America fan. The detail that they put into the design is just amazing. I mean, when I give you a 360 turnaround here, all the looks in the design of the glove just immediately pops out and catches somebody's eye like it did mine when I bought these. Starting out with the left glove, if you're a fan or if you watch the movies, you'll immediately know that big white star is the center of Captain America's shield, just like the gloves, just like his shield in the movie. So the glove personifies that with a big white star, blue, red, and white layers. It's also red towards the top of the thumb and red towards the top of the gloves where your finger is going to lie. So that's really cool. Now, the wrist strap is an American blue color, just like the first layer outside of the star, but we have a white background with blue lettering that says S. Rogers, which if you're a fan of the comics or if you watch the movies, you know that stands for Steve Rogers, which is of course Captain America's name. So that's a really, really cool detail that they put in. Another cool detail that they put in on the right glove is it's all blue. Unlike this, it's multicolors. This is all the American blue until you get to the chest piece, which is Captain America's armor, which is really cool. So you got the same rivets that are inside of the armor. So it has little tiny ribs right in here, and then you have a bar going across just like the armor in the movies. The wrist strap, just like the left glove, is blue, but we have an A, which stands for America. But remember, Captain America is also the first Avenger, so this could also be considered the Avengers A, which is really cool. Now, both of the gloves have the same thing on the back, in that they are a very old school brown color, and they have a couple stamps, one saying Marvel, powered by Hayabusa, and it has a 16-ounce stamp, which I'll show you now. As you can see here, we have the big official Marvel stamp right here, powered by Hayabusa with a Peregrine Falcon logo. And then on this side, we have the 16-ounce stamp, because this is a 16-ounce glove. So that's a really cool detail that they put in the glove. Now, a big question I think I asked, and what a lot of people will ask, are these just a wall piece, or can you actually use them? Well, they're modeled after the T3 glove that Hayabusa has made for years, and the T3 glove is honestly preferred by a lot of big professionals. I think the biggest advocate for Hayabusa gear is actually George St. Pierre. I know Robbie Lawler has used it quite a bit, and Firas Zahabi, which is St. Pierre's coach, as well as Dwayne Ludwig, actually uses a pair of T3 gloves, the white T3 gloves. But the cool thing about the T3 glove is that they're quite literally good for any type of sport that involves punching. So you can use these in boxing, Muay Thai, MMA. They're great because they're small and very light, like a Muay Thai glove. They open up very wide like a Muay Thai glove, and the thumb is somewhat on the outside, but it has better wrist support and better knuckle protection and better hand compartments like a Western boxing glove. So that's a really cool detail, and it's kind of cool how Hayabusa pulled this off. So starting off with the materials of the glove, it's made out of microfiber leather out of shell. Now, microfiber leather, I guess Hayabusa did a study from a college, I forget the name of the college, and they determined that this and microfiber composite is the best stuff that you can use, because unlike leather or man-made engineered leather, it will not crack or shrivel or break away when water comes in contact with it. And of course, in combat sports, we come in contact with blood, sweat, tears, water, bleach a lot of times in cleaning materials when we want to wipe off our gear because we need to be sanitary. These will not show any sign of wear anytime soon or ever. So, I've had a pair of regular T3 gloves for about a year, and I've used them quite a bit. And I can tell you what, nothing has changed about them other than there's a couple more folds in the glove. Sticking to the outside of the glove, you'll notice that we have some single line stitching here. Single line stitching is good because a lot of companies will use double line stitching, which basically means a single line could not hold the glove together, so they had to put an extra line of stitching in. So if we got here, all throughout the back of the glove, all throughout the thumb, it's all single line stitching, which is a really, really neat detail. It's really good that Hayabusa could pull that off. Then we have on this one, which might concern some people, there's still single line stitching all throughout the thumb, but it's kind of around the punch surface, which might bother some people, but it's not going to scrape your sparring partner because it's the stitching's so soft, it's not coarse at all, and it's embedded into the glove itself, so it's not going to scrape your sparring partners, I don't think anyway. Going into the insides of the glove, starting with the foams, it's just like the T3 model where we have 4 layers of anti-shock foam, which is really great. So we have high density foams and EVA foams in this, like most gloves will sport. And when I push down, like a Western glove, like I said, it's a little bit more poofy. If I push, it's going to come right back up. That's why I say it's a high density foam, because it's very puffy compared to something like latex or horsehair, which is very bouncy. So this is probably not a puncher's glove, just like the T3, and that's completely okay. I recommend these if you have brittle hands, simply because the hand compartments in the T3 gloves are so good, although I have not tried these on yet. And another thing about the inside of the glove actually is the interior lining, which I'll show right now. Not only is the foam great, but the interior lining actually is antimicrobial and it's quick to dry. It's moisture wicking, so it actually wicks away the moisture as you're using it. So it's dispersing it, which is great. And it's very cool to the touch. I do notice after about 10 to 15 minutes inside of a T3 glove, most of the time it feels like your hand's in the furnace, but that's kind of a minute detail. Putting it in for the first time, it's very comfortable. And yep, just like any other T3 glove, it has a dual X closure. Now the dual X closure is cool because if you watch my thumb, when I pull this, it pulls my thumb in along with my wrist. So there's the first closure, and then I take this and completely secure it, and it's stuck to my wrist because I'm pulling as tight as I can right now and it's not coming out. So like I said, it's kind of like a Muay Thai glove, and where you can open it pretty wide and grab, I can get a good grip out of this. The thumb is just out of the way, but it's in a very good natural punching position where it's not coming out to the side like this, it's coming in front. And another cool part about this is, like the T3 series, is that it puts my wrist in a natural punch position with the splint system that it has. So it has a big piece of foam going from here all the way down to the wrist that naturally curves my wrist like this, so I don't have to do it at all times and punch. When you punch, you want to hit all your knuckles if you can in that area and just kind of twist. This, I don't need to curve my wrist down, it just does it for me. My knuckles are going to hit every single time. So that's a really cool detail to have. So another thing about the lining, like I said, some people think it's going to be pretty hot after a while, but a very small detail which might or might not help you. There's some ventilation holes on the inside of the palm and on the inside of the thumb. And it also has a microfiber leather thumb attachment, and same thing for this glove, only it's blue. Not that that's really important. The attachments will stay there for as long as you need them to, and I don't recommend you cut them off. But that's the gloves, first look. They're training gloves, so you can use them for mitts, bag work, sparring, push-ups, anything. You want to punch a brick wall, go for it. Training gloves are more than likely good for anything, and I'm actually going to try and get that on footage and commentate over it so you can hear what I was thinking as I was hitting the bag at that moment in time, or as I was hitting someone at that moment in time. So I hope you enjoy the training footage, and I'll be back with you with my final thoughts on the gloves.
All right, so I'm giving you a profile of the gloves here so you can see what they're like from a sparring type distance. So you can definitely see all the detail. Like right now you can see the Marvel, the Hayabusa stamp, you can see the A, you can see the S. Rogers, you can see the shield, the body armor, you can see everything. And when you start punching someone, you really see an array of colors coming at you. So that's really cool. One thing about these is they're so light that it honestly feels like you're kind of shadow boxing with hand wraps on, giving you a preview of what or profile rather, of what the shield looks like from a distance. So the details are definitely there. They look great. They operate great. They're nice and light. So shadow boxing is definitely a possibility with these. I have zero complaints with these gloves, how they look, but this is how it looks like when punch is coming at you. I'm about to make a silly face and go bananas, and there you go. All right, so my very first round on the heavy bag with these gloves. So first off, they felt great right off the bat. They felt like a very puffy glove, kind of like a winning or a UMA type glove, but with a bit more of a feedback. You know, you could definitely tell your punches were sinking in and really landing precise, but I think that's because the gloves are slightly smaller than a traditional boxing glove. So, you know, you have a really good feel. They're nice and light. You can let your hands fly. They sound great on the mitts. I'll tell you what, I get a nice crack off the mitts. I gotta see if I can get a video of that or something. I wish I recorded that with my coach, but I completely forgot my camera. I try and do everything on the same camera. But, you know, I have zero complaints about the gloves right off the bat. All right, so I'm going to start throwing a little bit harder. I'm on my 6th round in the bag, and, you know, I'm doing 5-minute rounds, and a half hour in, the gloves already felt like they had been broken in. You know, I could really sink my punches right into the bag. You know, I actually like the feel on these on the bag with these gloves more than I do some bag gloves that I've used. You know, they give a nice feedback. They're still not a puncher's glove, so if you really need to feed off a glove, you know, springing back at you, maybe these gloves aren't for you. But if you want the best hand support that some gloves can give you, you know, you want to look at the T3 glove, not just the not just the Marvel series, but the T3 gloves in general are great. They're nice and light, let your hands fly. You can clinch a little bit. I wish I showed that a little bit in this, but in the sparring footage, I believe there's some clinching. So, yeah, great glove for bag work and for mitt work. Gives you a nice, good feedback. I definitely recommend these. This is just some play sparring with my buddy RJ, and he comes in every so often, and he just kind of wants to, sometimes we'll roll, sometimes we'll box, but I decided, I haven't played sparred with these yet, so why not use them with RJ? RJ said the same thing as most of my other sparring partners said. I felt like they were getting hit by a cloud, not because I didn't hit hard, but because the glove was really soft, so that's a good thing if you want to protect your sparring partners. It's still really good on the hands. It gives you nice knuckle support. I have no complaints about the glove at all when it comes to this. There's a cool part coming up, I believe, where we clinch for a second. And if you're a Muay Thai fighter, I recommend these gloves to you because they have better hand support, I feel, than some Fairtex gloves or Twins or Yokow. Just because they open, I think, a lot better, and they have more knuckle and wrist support, and that's always great. So as a sparring glove, these are awesome. Definitely a great all-around glove. You can hit the mitts with these. You can hit the bag. You can spar. You can do whatever you want with these gloves, and they're going to stay the same for a very long time.
All right, folks, so 2 weeks have passed since I've taken these gloves out of the box. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on these, starting off with the key question: are these just a wall piece or can I use them? And like I said, they're modeled after the T3 glove, so yes, these gloves are amazing. They're just like any other T3 glove or Kompeki series glove that they have put out. They are great. I can tell you, hitting the bag especially, a lot of training gloves will say, oh, they're, you can use them for anything, but I really like hitting the mitts and bags with these more than I did sparring. Although my sparring partner said that it felt like they were getting hit by a pillow, which is good for sparring. They said it was soft to touch, and it was just a really neat glove, I guess, just like every other T3 glove that most people use. It was very easy to clinch with sparring. The gloves opened very, very wide. The padding got a little softer, which is good in any other breaking process. You can see it's a little bit easier to push in now, the padding here. But it kind of started to form to my knuckles a bit over time and to my hand wraps, which is really cool. They do not smell any different than when they came out of the box, and I've sweated these. I think a complaint that a lot of people have about T3 gloves, which this is no different. They do get a little hot on the inside, but that's a really, really minor detail that no one should ever pay too much attention to, although you do want maximum comfort. I also asked all my sparring partners, did these laces on the right glove ever scrape or cut you? And I've sparred with over 15 people in these gloves, whether it be light sparring or hard sparring, and they all said, no, I noticed no difference. Another cool thing is about the microfiber leather, it's unlike regular leather or engineered leather, it slips off the face like you have Vaseline on already. So it doesn't stick and cut, which is good. You don't want to do that in sparring. You want to keep everyone safe in sparring. Now, getting into some of the cons of the glove, really there's only a couple. For one, when I hit the bag, I noticed that it puts you in a natural punch position, but sometimes it feels a little forced. But for some reason, these gloves and the other T3 gloves that I use, every time I hit the bag, every 20 minutes or so, or spar, I notice each time I make a good solid hit, the wrist strap just gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's very annoying, and it starts to cut the circulation off. Maybe it's just the way I wrap my hands. I don't know. I doubt it, though. I've never had a pair of gloves do that before, but all you have to do to fix that is just relieve that and then just do that again. And it takes, no joke, that just took me, 2.5 seconds to do. That's an easy fix. I do think the biggest flaw with these gloves is probably the price, and I think a lot of people are going to kind of lift their eyebrows at this because I haven't mentioned the price yet. They're $229.99 US dollars, and the worst part about that is for another $70, you could just get, arguably the best pair of training gloves on the market in a pair of Winnings if you really want them. And all you got to do is wait a month. But once again, microfiber leather, I've had these for 2 weeks. You can notice there isn't anything different about them from when I had them 2 weeks ago. And I've had these for 3 years, and they've still... there's barely any wear on them. A couple pittings, a couple bubblings here, but that's going to happen with any pair of gloves after you use them for years. These gloves are great. They operate great, but why spend another $100 when a regular T3 model of glove is going to cost you $129? Well, there's one big and blatant answer to that, and I don't know if you saw this stamp before, but Marvel. These are very intricate gloves in the fact that look at all the detail that they had to put in, and they're handcrafted every single time. And Marvel also gave Hayabusa licenses, and the way licenses work is they basically give you permission to do that for a certain amount that you're licensed, and if people keep buying them, maybe the license will go down. Hayabusa doesn't have to pay so much, but I assume Hayabusa is making them, probably making about $150 off the gloves themselves. The rest is going to Marvel. But if you're a Captain America fan or a Marvel fan and you want to spend money on gloves and you don't really care about the price range, or you don't care about a brand like Winning because you don't care about that, and you just want the gloves to look cool and operate fine, I'm sorry about that, these are a good bet for you. But if you just want something to operate like these, maybe just get a regular T3 pair of gloves, and they have a bunch of color options from purple, red, green, blue, white, solid black, anything you can think of they have. So I think that's my biggest flaw with these gloves. Besides that, there really wasn't anything wrong with these gloves at all. They operate well. They're probably the coolest pair of gloves I'll ever own, honestly. Maybe one is tied, which I'll do a review down the line, and you'll see what I mean. But, I'd say the Marvel Elite series by Hayabusa, honestly, one of the better gloves that you'll get from them just because of the look and everything. They are, once again, $229.99. They come in Iron Man, Black Panther, Captain America, like these, Captain Marvel, and the Punisher, and they come in 12 and 16 ounces. So if you like a 14-ounce glove, unfortunately, you're a little out of luck here, but these are the lightest 16-ounce pairs of gloves I think I've ever used. Hayabusa does a really good job with this. If you have brittle hands, I recommend these. They're just as poofy as the Winnings. They're just as supportive as the Winnings. Superior knuckle protection, ergonomically fitted hands. Everything about it is just great. Cannot complain about these gloves other than the price, which is why I give it a rating of 7 out of 10. I really think the price damages it that much because although people want these, the general public might already have a pair of gloves. They don't want to spend another $230 basically to get gloves just for the look of it, because gloves really, the look of the glove is not always the most important detail to a lot of people, and I'm one of those people, but I'm also a huge Captain America fan. But other than that, the gloves are great. I recommend you buy them. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I love these gloves. I had a great time using them, and I'm glad I have them in my collection. I'm going to use them a lot. I know that for a fact, and I hope this review has helped you in case you wanted to buy these at all. And if you have any questions, comment below, email me on, I think the information's in my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you'd like to do. Let me know if this review sucked. Let me know if it was good. And let me know if there's anything that you want me to review in the future, and then I'll try and get a hold of it and review it for you. So, with that said, I'm Al Morrow. Thanks for watching the Combat Corporation, your source for combat sports. I'll see you on the next episode.